It's a film with three brains. 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 It's a film with three brains.
Oh my god, you guys are freaks.
In a different place, in a different time, different people around me. I'm on my way to find the Wiz. He's gonna get me back home.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. And good luck.
The genius who created me only took care of my dashing good looks, my razor-sharp wit, and my irresistible attraction to the wrong women. What he forgot was a heart.
A lion without any courage. Oh!
Can you help us, sir?
What's in it for me?
We'd be very grateful.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Here it is.
Come on now, ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. Don't you care?
Mama would be so proud. Going to see the Wiz.
When I wake up in the afternoon, what you pleasing me to do? Don't nobody bring me no bad news. I wake up all rather than negative, and I'm wired up my views. So don't nobody bring me no bad news.
An announcement from the great and powerful Oz.
Send up the one with the silver slippers.
Everybody be glad, the sun is shining just for us. Everybody wake up into the morning into happiness. Oh, wow, it's like a different way of living now. And thank the world, we don't knew that we'd be free somehow.
You wanted to meet the wizard.
Hello, welcome to the film with three brains. I am Cohen in Maplewood, New Jersey.
And this is Sean in Wisconsin.
And Sam in San Francisco.
The movie we're yakking about today is The Wiz from 1978. A bit of a retelling of The Wizard of Oz within an urban angle, I suppose you would call it. Directed by Sidney Lumet, which I find fascinating.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in a good way. Starring Diana Ross and Michael Jackson and Richard Pryor and Nipsey Russell, and a bunch of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, have you guys ever seen it before?
Nope.
I've seen bits of it here and there, but I'd never seen the whole thing. Not even close.
I've seen it once or twice before, but it's been a while. I couldn't really remember what was going to happen next. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, really? That's right. So, thoughts?
I mean,
Should I give a synopsis real quick?
Yeah.
On why it's a sort of a retelling of The Wizard of Oz?
Why not?
Yeah,
All
I think that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, so basically, Diana Ross plays Dorothy, and she lives in an apartment in Harlem, I believe. They don't say, but
Yep.
they talk about south of 125th Street.
Right, exactly.
But then she gives her address, and her address is in Brooklyn, not Harlem, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's Thanksgiving, and she goes outside because Toto gets out in a snowstorm, basically a snow tornado comes down the street and whisks her off to Oz, which is just like a bizarro version of New York, sort of like a parallel universe. It seems kind of empty and dark and scary. And then it's basically the Wizard of Oz. She discovers the Scarecrow, played by Michael Jackson, and then the Tin Man, played by Nipsey Russell, and then the Cowardly Lion, who's the actor's name I forget right now.
Ted Ross.
That sounds about right. But yeah, she kills the one witch by accident, gets the slippers. The Munchkins are there. They're not really Munchkins. It's all pretty similar to the Wizard of Oz, right up until the end. And yeah, it's pretty, other than the environment and, thematically quite different. The music is absolutely different. The music's all Motown, basically. Wow, just blanked on his name. Quincy Jones was very heavily involved. It was produced by Rob Cohen of Fast and Furious fame. He directed the first movie, who was the head of Motown at the time, which was a little odd. I was surprised by that. I didn't realize a white dude was in charge. That's the thing about this movie. It was written by Joel Schumacher. It was produced by Rob Cohen, and then directed by Sidney Lumet, which is the weirdest thing, but we'll get to that. There's some stories there. There was a lot going on behind the scenes here. It's interesting. But anyway, your impressions.
Yeah. I wish. I was thinking about like why I know like Ease on Down the Road. When I was growing up, that song was in my head. Like that tune was in my head. But I had no idea why. It was like, oh, it's just one of those songs, and I, of course, everybody knows Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. But I found the backstory, like you said, about Lumet and Berry Gordy and all the stuff behind it. I found it probably more interesting than the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, they really were trying something, and I enjoyed. I don't know if it's hard to say how I felt about it. Diana Ross is interesting casting. She's a great singer. Obviously, I thought she was very good. I don't know that she's a Dorothy. I don't.
Yeah.
Right. And she's a school teacher, but they don't really do anything with that idea of being a school teacher.
Right. Yeah.
So bizarre, interesting, very visually interesting to me. I thought a lot of interest, like the makeup is cool. I know that's what Stan Winston, I think, is doing a lot of special effects makeup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And interesting choices. So there's a lot to think about, a lot to observe and to experience. But as a movie, or I don't know how I would feel if I had seen the musical. Maybe I'd feel better about it or worse.
Yeah. I consider it like a sort of a fascinating failure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the things going on behind the scenes, which we'll get into, I think had a direct effect on the quality of the movie and its reception. Sam?
I think that it's a movie that is neither fun enough for children or interesting enough for adults. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's an in-between that works.
I also think along those same lines, I agree with you, that the music is surprisingly not great. To me, that's just my opinion. I don't know if anyone agrees, but there's a few songs I liked, and the rest I really didn't were not memorable. I didn't care for them that much. They were fine, but it didn't stick in my head. Like, and I know I believe it's all original songs from the movie. I don't know if they did they use I don't
from the
remember.
Musical. Yeah, they used.
Is it all from the musical, or is
no?
It? Okay,
it's like 17 or something from the musical, and like 6 new ones or 5 new ones, something like that.
It's actually surprising.
It is surprising because the other thing is that typically you expect the star to have like one of the best songs, and I feel like Diana Ross was not given the best, anywhere close to the best songs. Like Michael Jackson, when You Can't Win, Ease on Down the Road, that was kind of the two of them.
Yeah.
When they're Eveline, her song's more fun. And I felt like when Diana Ross was left on her own, she was kind of just given these like on an album, I'd call them filler songs, you know, like it just wasn't doing it. And that's what makes this movie so tough, is because Disney, we've seen a million Disney movies now with singing in them. And the thing that gets kids into it, whether or not parents are excited about having their kids sing Frozen songs over and over, is the fun of them, and that the star is got a song that is a number one hit for the the age group that's watching it. And this didn't do that. And if it would have been smarter or cleverer for adults, then at least you'd have songs that had like jokes in them or really poignant lines that said something about, because when you make this choice of saying, hey, we're gonna make a inner city Wizard of Oz story, then give me songs that make me feel that, like what it's like to be you, because I think that's somewhere they were trying to do that, and I'm assuming the musical did that more. It's hard, I can't imagine they just said, hey, let's just remake the Wizard of Oz and it'll be just as fun in an inner city. Like that could not have been their goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that I'm supposed to get more out of it than I do, or I did. Excuse me. Or maybe you have to read into a little more. I mean, there's like the crows, and like there's definitely the themes of self-worth, and there's a lot in there, and I know that the part of it is about the great migration of blacks moving from the South to urban areas that was still going on into the 70s. But I mean, it was sort of like the Black experience kind of mushed into this other stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to see all of that stuff, or I'm reaching too much, or you know what I mean? I'm not. I mean, the themes are strong, but like what I'm supposed to know about it seems arbitrary at times, or unclear.
So after watching it and then reading about it, the production, it seemed a lot of it. I feel like a lot of things kind of clicked in my brain about why I feel about this movie the way I do. Starting with the fact that hiring Joel Schumacher to write the screenplay is a little weird right off the bat. That's odd. Yeah. And then he throws out the book for the musical completely. Doesn't use a word from it, and basically starts over. That's weird.
Followed the book, not the. Wait, what did you say?
The musical book. The script for the original musical.
Right. He didn't use any of the.
He didn't use any of it.
The dialogue from the play. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't use any of it.
Yeah.
The basic story, of course, but so he tosses that and he starts over, and then he infuses. I didn't know this watching it, but he infuses everything with the Earnhardt Seminars training movement and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre. And like just a strange choice. So then they originally were going to cast they originally had John Badham as the director, who directed Saturday Night Fever.
That was
much better choice.
Yeah.
And they're going to cast the woman, I forgot her name, who played Dorothy in the stage production.
Stephanie something, yeah.
Yeah, she's very young. Yeah. And then Diana Ross gets it in her head that she wants to play the role, and at first they're like no, and like John Badham's like no, and so she goes. I guess she went directly to Rob Cohen, who was the head of Motown and was the executive producer of the movie, and was like, I want to be in this, and I'll help finance it.
Right.
Through my,
she kind of went
whatever.
around Barry Gordy, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
right, yeah. And Rob Cohen was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then she was a big believer in that whole EST thing that Joel Schumacher was, and she was all about it, and they fostered that. John Badham's like, nope, she's not right for this. She's Diana Ross, she's great, but she's not Dorothy. She's not right for this. I'm leaving him out. So they bring in Sidney Lumet, which is, he's a fantastic filmmaker, but this guy made 12 Angry Men. That's such a strange choice right there. I don't understand it at all. Why? I know it's the late 70s. There aren't that many black directors, but maybe give someone a shot. How about that?
Mm-hmm. And this is his only musical, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it shows. I feel like his direction is very flat. The musical numbers aren't very inspired. The way they're shot, there's a lot of bizarre continuity errors in jumps and editing, and I found really distracting. So yeah, you add that all together, and it's like, well, it's no wonder it was totally tanked.
Mm-hmm.
It was a critical failure, it was a box office failure. It's become a bit of a cult, film has a cult following now, but when it came out, it was, I wouldn't call it a disaster, but it was definitely a failure.
And
so
Universal
all
didn't
of those
even have
choices are weird.
Yeah.
Universal didn't have what?
They didn't have a budget in mind. Is one source said something about Universal was so excited to have the rights that they didn't even set a budget.
Well, if you step back and you look at it from afar, you're like Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Richard Pryor.
Right.
How do you have the best of the best people in this movie? Like Richard Pryor at that time.
Richard Pryor's wasted, wasn't he?
One of the doesn't get a single joke.
Yeah.
And he is the top comedian in the world at that time.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else in the late 70s who I would put in the same league as him. And to have him not do anything, at least give us 5 minutes of some really good, solid jokes and material there. But from afar, why wouldn't they be excited about it? But I also think okay, you are going to remake the Wizard of Oz, and I know it's not a remake of the original movie. I think that's one of the things that for our listeners, most people probably don't know unless they've researched, is that the Wizard of Oz was a book from 1900.
Several books.
Yeah, it was 14 of them, I think, Wizard of Oz books, or Oz books. But it was in public domain by the time this was made. So they could reimagine a way to interpret the story of the book without infringing on the copyright of the movie, as long as they took elements from the book and not the movie. In the original book, the slippers are silver. They're not ruby slippers. That's why then this movie, they're silver slippers. They're not ruby slippers. That was something when they made the movie that was their, what they came up with. So it's fine to do it. They're not breaking any rules, but they're doing it to one of the biggest, best movies ever made. You can reimagine something else. There's plenty of things that were movies that have been made about something that you can reimagine the story of. But I think that if you're going to reimagine the Wizard of Oz, right there, you're setting yourself up for failure, because no matter what you do, everyone's going to be comparing it to the movie they love. I don't know that it was now, but the Wizard of Oz, wasn't it on every year at Christmas?
Sure.
I remember being every year it used to be on at noon or something, or
I think it
2
probably
o'clock.
still is.
I saw that movie once a year for years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of like It's a Wonderful Life was that way.
Yeah, and no one's going to remake It's a Wonderful Life and try to reimagine it as a different story, it's because it's so ingrained in our culture. It takes guts to do that, and if you're going to do it, it's got to be well. And well done. And the thing that's interests me now is the actual play. Like clearly it was a successful Broadway thing. So I was like, why aren't we seeing that? Like you said, why does the whole script get thrown away?
Yeah, it's weird.
Something was popular enough to do it, because you wouldn't do that for Wicked, like
right.
Wicked worked because it was well written. So I don't know. I think you're right. Like the story of why it was made and how it ended up what it is just as probably more fascinating than the movie itself.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's strange.
Like it could, like if you made that movie, you'd just watch these wrong turns slowly being made, and it would not be for kids at all. It would just be one of these movies that slowly makes you like, oh, that's how that happened. Like, why? Over and over. Car crash. Anyway, that's
Yeah. I mean, Michael Jackson wasn't Michael Jackson then, and I forgot, or I didn't know that the first Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 album was Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, and that's not really, that was totally a promotional thing. Like she didn't discover them.
Right.
She was just friends with them, and but they were just leveraging that business. But they were friends, and they definitely went together, and the two of them seemed like those two performances seemed different than the other two. And Ted Ross was in the stage production.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, like, and so was Mabel King, who was the other witch in the sweatshop. Like
Eveline,
yeah. Is it Eveline or Evermean and Eveline or Eveline?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like her voice projects like crazy. Like you can say, oh yeah, okay, I can see her on the stage doing this. And then you've got Michael Jackson going like, not to be weird about later Michael Jackson, but in this performance, he's just, it's good. I'm not saying it's not good, but it's quiet. Diana Ross is quiet. Their singing is like nuanced and soft at times, and everybody else is sort of, let's go, booming everything. So there's that kind of weird juxtaposition, but just like, but knowing their history makes it interesting, but also kind of inscrutable. Like what was the vision? What were they going for? And then like he wanted Jimmy Walker.
Yeah.
Right? Lumet wanted Jimmy Walker, and he said Michael Jackson's a Vegas act. The Jackson 5's a Vegas act.
Yeah.
Meaning like a novelty, right? Like he wasn't, they didn't know about him yet. Now people will watch it and be like, oh, it's Michael Jackson, look at this. And then it's his first film and all this stuff. And it is interesting. And I do like him a lot, but yeah, it just seems like they are a little different than the rest of the movie. For whatever reason. Did you notice his nose? Michael Jackson's Scarecrow nose. It was like a Reese's peanut butter cup wrapper.
Yeah. Yes.
And then something over that. I was like, is that what that is? And then I'm like, oh, that really is what that is. That's weird. But
I was chin distracting. That was like
I did too.
It was like not moving the right way, and it's like this saggy thing. It's
it's like all strange.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, it is hard to imagine that Michael Jackson wasn't a giant. He was only 18, and he wasn't a giant star at this time. Off the Wall didn't come out until 1979, and then of course, then the 80s was, Thriller and that. But you could still. I mean, you could still see he had it. He's Michael Jackson. He was studying the way different animals walked, so he could perfect how his gait was going to be. Like that. Like Michael Jackson was Michael Jackson at that point.
And Quincy Jones had just met him, and he wasn't sure what to make of him at first, but he
Yeah, that's right. The best thing that came out of this movie was putting those two together.
Right. This whole lineage of Diana to Michael to Quincy, and then eventually he becomes the biggest star in the world, the biggest musical act in the world. But right now, like in '78, it's just okay. He's just a scarecrow.
Yeah. Well,
and he was living on his own in New York for the first time, right? He had an apartment with LaToya, and Joe Jackson thinks that this experience is what kind of moved him away from the rest of the guys, the rest of the family. I mean, it's Joe Jackson though, so he's got
right.
Yeah, but I mean, what were they gonna do? I mean, doesn't it seem kind of inevitable?
Yeah.
Anyway, like you could try to point it, but I mean, like kids grow up. They do. Like, how could they not?
Well, you could argue he never did grow up, but
well, yeah,
he called his ranch Neverland.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to see the movie that came. I haven't heard anything about it, but I am curious to see.
Oh, the Michael movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen either.
Nope. I am curious. I haven't even heard anything about it.
I've read some reviews. It's pretty positive, I think, for the most part. I didn't realize that the actor playing him is his nephew, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until very recently. I saw not to get too far off topic, but I saw something online. One of the socials, someone bitching about this guy doesn't look anything like Michael Jackson, and someone replies, "What did you think they could resurrect him from the dead to play himself? It's his nephew. Like he's close enough. Like relax. It's like, did Joaquin Phoenix look like Johnny Cash? No, they're not related either.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're spoiled sometimes with casting, like the NWA movie when Ice Cube's son plays him.
Right.
And it looks just like him.
Yeah.
Can't always be like that.
Indeed.
Well, let's talk about like sets and stuff. Like, so the cojones to like try to shoot in New York City for one.
Yeah, I mean they shot a lot in the studio too, though.
Right, a lot of in that story or whatever that is.
In
studio.
Queens, yeah.
Queens.
Yeah.
And I like certain scenes like Coney Island, that makes sense,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know what it is, but you don't have to, there's like the roller coaster and there's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like trying to shoot in Manhattan, like, and then I thought the look of the Emerald City from afar was cool.
Yeah.
But as soon as they get into the city, like, why? Who cares? Like, we don't need to be right there for all these shots and all these extras, all the, like that's nuts.
I was surprised also how small everything felt. For the most part, like they really, and I don't know if it's intentional, but a lot of it just felt like the film stage play. And I don't mean the aesthetic necessarily. It's just like it just felt small. That's the best way I can think of. Like The Wizard of Oz is all shot on stages with matte paintings and shit. Yet it still didn't feel. Oz felt like it felt like a world, an expansive world where things happen, and
right.
And this didn't. This always felt like they were on a stage. And I gotta imagine that wasn't entirely on purpose.
I kind of wondered if they wanted to get like the congestion feeling of it being in a city.
Maybe, but I feel that's more about the people than anything. And in this, there's very few people.
Right.
Yeah.
In most scenes, it feels pretty empty. I don't know. I was a little surprised.
I do like the New York, what is it? State Fair? Not State Fair, but what's that?
Oh,
the thing that's Men in Black.
The State Fair in Queens with the two
right
discs,
towers and the
yeah.
I thought that was appropriate.
Or the World's Fair is what that was.
World's Fair, yeah.
From like 1930 or whatever. Indeed.
But they, according to somebody that's in charge of running the society or whatever, somebody behind the park, City Lumet offered to sort of restore it, and the New York City higher ups were like, no, just put it back the way it was. So he's like, all right,
interesting.
And it's been in and out of disrepair, and they never did, do anything. I mean, it's still there, right? I mean, it hasn't been just demolished or anything.
Mm-mm.
So, but that scene, so she, her tornado, the whole snow tornado thing is odd. I don't think it really matters a whole lot, but like she lands. I mean, she has to kill the evil witch, and then Miss One comes out, and the people are coming out of the walls. Like visually, a lot of the makeup and like things that they did to incorporate weird stuff, I thought was interesting. I'm not even sure what they're going for, but I just thought it looked interesting a lot of times. Or like when they were squishing the Tin Man, or not, yeah. I mean, when there's certain cool things they did, but I never really understood what they were going for.
Yeah.
Like why were they were instead of Munchkins, they were the cursed or the Cursees. And they were like, okay, the switch cursed us to be inanimate, wall people. And they don't really explain why that's significant or how. I mean, okay, she's dead. That broke the curse. Okay, I get that, but like, okay. And then what are the like? Miss One is talking about numbers and stuff. Like, what does that mean? Am I supposed to know what that means?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I just think a lot of that's what got lost here is a lot of things just happen.
Yeah.
Like they don't, like you're watching things happen without actually knowing why, like what's going on.
Yeah.
You
can relate to the Toto and the Dorothy and stuff because you already know all that stuff. But the new stuff is like, okay.
Right. That's the problem. Even the flying monkeys, like they just seem like underutilized and on motorcycle. Like it just, I don't know, that didn't work for me. Yeah. And like they get freed and then like one word and then that's it. Like it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it really, the biggest nitpick I can think of is when they're in the sweatshop and Michael Jackson's like, and Dorothy like reaches up and pulls the fire alarm thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like the sprinklers turn on and the witch is like, oh no, I'm allergic to water. It makes me melt. It's like,
right.
Okay. Like at least in the original Wizard of Oz, she, water's deadly to her, so she doesn't have any fucking around. They had to like get a bucket of it and throw it on her. But she's just like living her life under death, like the canopy of death, with a functioning fire alarm that can kill her at any moment.
Yeah, not to mention
like anyone could walk by and be like, "Hey, what's this?" Yeah,
they're underground in sewers, so there's got to be some water down there. Come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I found that really irritating. I know it's kind of a minor thing, but yeah. And from that point into the end is so quick.
Yeah,
it's just like, all right, and she's home, and it just ends with her running up the stoop. I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt really abrupt because the movie's long. Like it's way too long.
It's
like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they really take their time with a lot of it. And then at the end, it's just like, all right, we're done. See ya.
Yeah, I think the flying monkeys, which were kind of interesting looking, they must have had a cut scene or two. The one guy's like, bye, Panther. I'm like, was that Black Panther? Who knows?
Cheetah.
Oh, Cheetah.
Yeah,
Cheetah. Okay. Never mind. It's not.
Yeah, she's like, Cheetah says this. And you're like, who the fuck is Cheetah?
Who's Cheetah?
And then the very next scene, she's like, thanks, Cheetah. You're like, oh, okay. That's very skillful writing, Joel.
Oh, man.
And in case anyone out there is unfamiliar with Joel Schumacher, he is responsible for directing Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Which should tell you
other
that
stuff.
You need to know. I mean, he's got good movies.
No,
but
he's got
like some good ones. He's got like maybe the worst. Like
he's got some bad stuff.
Yeah, he's got some duds. I mean, he's got the Lost Boys though.
I mean, he was part of that EST thing.
Yeah.
So he was, which is about unlocking your own potential. You're already okay, and all this. I mean, so somewhere in there they mentioned the human potential movement and then there was references to L. Ron Hubbard And L. Ron Hubbard actually thinks that he got ripped off, right?
Oh,
like this Werner guy, this EST thing, or EST, whatever it's supposed to be, that was related to what he was doing, and
Dianetics and shit.
Yeah, similar to Dianetics, and some people thought it was a little culty and stuff. I mean,
of course,
both of them.
Scientology.
Right, but I don't know much about this guy. This
No,
Werner
I don't
guy.
either. I never heard of him until I was reading about The Wiz.
Yeah, but Joel Schumacher liked it, and so did Diana Ross. So, it's gonna get in. All that stuff's gonna get in there. And like Lena Horne at the end is like, if she shows up, and she's the mother-in-law of Sidney Lumet at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I mean, she's Lena Horne. She's already established. It's not why she's in the movie, but
for sure.
Also, she's has a kind of an odd. I mean, she's the babies. Are we supposed to know what the babies mean, or they're just cute babies? I mean, they're babies of the actual cast, like the close-ups of the babies, and then there were like the ones in the background that were just dolls, apparently. But
yeah,
I guess that was just more potential, like. Babies, they're gonna grow, and who knows what'll happen.
Yeah, I guess so. I was in reading about sort of the behind the scenes stuff, and then just going and looking at, for example, Joel Schumacher's filmography. I didn't realize he wrote Car Wash, which was before this. Yeah, and he wrote something before that was also a bit of a blaxploitation movie. So it's not like this is completely out of left field for him to write The Wiz.
Okay.
In context of his career at that point, I suppose. I mean, overall, it's still a little odd. But I guess to a certain extent, it makes sense if Hollywood is a white dominated medium, and he has some experience for whatever reason. Okay, and then Sidney Lumet, it's like, from what I understand, they just hired him because he had a very solid reputation for delivering films on time and under budget. And that was it. They're just like, let's have this guy do it because he's, fiscally responsible. And Grant, I mean, yes, and he's a masterful filmmaker, and he's got some masterpieces under his belt. Right. But at this time, less. He did a lot after this that, so it's still an odd
who cares
choice.
if he hits the budget, if the budget is the biggest ever for a musical,
Right, exactly. Right. And then they ended up being the most expensive film ever shot in New York. So it's just all really
nailed
weird. Yeah. He really brought it home.
So yeah, they lost a little over $10 million at the box office,
Oof.
but then CBS paid them $10 million for broadcast rights.
Oh, there you go.
So
how'd they pull that off?
I don't know. Somebody did some magic there, but yeah, it's interesting that Hollywood basically was like, well, maybe we should stop with this. I mean, they didn't call it. I don't know if they called it blaxploitation, but this kind of movie.
I think they did actually.
They were calling it that, yeah. I mean,
maybe not at the time. Maybe not at the time. Maybe it was after the fact. I'm not quite sure.
Kind of the end of it.
This is sort of winding down that stuff.
When you look at the producer, director, writer standpoint, this is like the movie that Hollywood Shuffle makes fun of.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
As soon as I read this, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And a number of people credited the failure of this movie for Hollywood to get away from making films that were primarily ethnic characters, actors, which is a shame. That you had to wait about a decade before you start getting into Spike Lee and the other people who brought it back. But but yeah, it's kind of as soon as I read the details of this, I was like, oh no, there you go. There's Hollywood Shuffle for you. Right?
Yes, and if you don't know what we're talking about, you can go back and watch our episode on Hollywood Shuffle,
which is better than the movie.
which we find well.
There's I would say that,
so we say.
So we say, yeah.
Well, I think it's been established that like 98% of our reviews are better than the movie they actually see. If Cohen picked the movie,
which he did.
I did. This is my pick. You're welcome.
Yeah, I like Nipsey Russell a lot. I think I like his performance in this.
Yeah.
He's, I don't think he's known as a singer, but his dancing and his acting are really good. And
I think he steals the show. He comes out with a fun song.
Yeah, he's
right
actually
away.
Funny too. I mean, he has a couple cracks about his fourth wife and stuff, and and it fits.
Speaking of performances, I don't think I mentioned it, but other than when she's singing, I found Diana Ross super irritating. I found her performance really off-putting and very one note, and just like, she kept making that face.
Right.
Like,
right.
And she always looked vaguely uncomfortable. Like she didn't know where she's supposed to be or what she's like supposed to. She's like, what do I do with my hands? Or so, I don't know. Unless she's singing and dancing. Yeah, exactly.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah. That's how I felt. Like she just looked awkward and I don't know. It was weird, and her facial expressions were so odd, and she was always just like screeching everything. Her lines, she's just like screeching and yelling, and I don't know. I just found it really off-putting, the whole thing, unless she was singing.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. If you have to love the main character, especially if you're going to try to get kids into this,
yeah,
you just can't. You like the other Dorothy so much, it's hard to accept her being Dorothy. You're like, this Dorothy's. Yeah,
some people thought it was pretty scary.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, I thought about letting my kids watch it or see if they'd want to, and I was like, I mean, my kids they're pretty easily scared by movies. They're afraid of things I'm a little surprised by. And this one, I was like,
there's a lot of things moving around, like the things in the subway coming off.
There's a lot of like creepy things happening.
Creepy things.
Like, what the hell?
There's actually some interesting sound things happening in the background. There's like the little theme of the that guy with the, I don't know what he was doing, but he had a little theme. Little.
Oh yeah.
He kept popping up, and then there was when we meet the lion, there's like this low, I don't know, there's like a rumble or something in the background, and it was unnerving, and I was like, is that supposed to be unnerving? Is that supposed to be in there? It's clearly intentional, but
yeah,
there are interesting sound things, but overall the sound is what really hurts. Like I don't know if it was the ADR or the dubbing, but like Diana Ross, like she's a great singer, but she's clearly not used to like dubbing her singing. So yeah, she's basically just has her mouth open.
Yeah, the lip sync's not very good.
Yeah, some of them are better than others. I mean, some I thought Ted Ross was good again because he was just really dramatic with this thing, and I mean Michael Jackson's was pretty much nailing his performance versus the sound of him singing versus looking at him singing. But Diana Ross and some other people were just, I don't know if someone could have helped him with that, or maybe put more thought into it, or maybe just switch camera angles every once in a while, do something so we're not just staring at like this. If you're not watching this and you can only listen to us, I'm just opening my mouth, and that's Diana Ross just had her mouth open most of the time, and you can see like it look. I mean, she made it look like she was singing because like her shoulders would kind of move up and down, but I don't think she's not actually singing it out. I don't know. It just makes for a weird experience. And these days we're so used to everything being spot on, and lip syncing is an art form now. People do it just like competitive lip syncing is a thing. Like we are at a point now where we need things to kind of look a little more natural, and most of the movie it's just like, well, you either got to listen to it and watch it, but not really. I don't know. It's just off-putting.
Yeah, I agree.
So
So before I said I didn't really care for most of the songs, and I will say that I liked Ease on Down the Road, and I liked the opening, the early one, He's the Whiz, and that's basically it. Like I don't think there's any other songs where I was like, oh, all right, I'm digging this. I don't know. I was really shocked how much I didn't care for the music, which is pretty normal for me, but I was still pretty surprised. Because the musicals I do like, there are a few, a lot of it is because I like the music.
Mm-hmm. Right. Which is why we were surprised that you picked this.
Yeah. My memory was hazy. I was going into it thinking, okay, well, at least the music will be good. If nothing else. I was sort of picturing the Blues Brothers. It's like, I think the Blues Brothers is hilarious. I love that movie. We've talked about it, but I think it's inarguable that the soundtrack is just fucking fantastic. Right. So even if you don't think it's funny and you're not digging, what's going on screen, at least you can sit back and go, oh, well, this music is great.
Right.
But yeah, for this, I don't know. I wasn't digging it.
So you're going to pick Moulin Rouge as your next musical? I mean, you're running out of
that is one of the musicals I do like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's visually interesting as well.
It is. I mean, it's all 80s songs. That's why I like it.
That's true.
I'm a big 80s fan, so they're singing 80s songs. So, of course.
Not exclusively, but yeah, I mean.
Not exclusively,
mostly.
But it's a large portion of it, yeah.
Well, if I had to sum up the problems with the music in one word, it would be disco.
Yeah.
Like, this is the age of disco still.
Yeah.
And every time they that like that disco like backbeat throws me every time it comes on. I like the Michael Jackson song, The Crow, you can't win. You can't win. I like that song. That's one of my favorites.
That's not bad.
Sort of original. I think that might have been written for this. I'm not sure, but yeah, the one song, fine.
The one song I really don't like though, like probably my least favorite of all of them, was the Brand New Day song.
Brand New Day.
I don't know what it is about it, man. It's just like
it
gets under my skin.
Luther Vandross wrote that song.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I'm just like, please stop.
Again, you know who did like this movie? Stephen Sondheim.
Really?
Which is crazy. Yeah. I don't know where I read it, but he said he actually liked it because he felt like it's one of the few musicals where people came out of, musical movie, I guess, came out of the theater feeling better than they did when they came in. He liked the vibe of it or something. I'm not sure. But I mean, if it's Stephen Sondheim, how can you argue? He just liked it. I mean, he didn't get into specifics, I don't think, about what, but yeah, I know what you mean though. I mean, it's written for, cause I think, I'll just speculate because I like to do that.
Sure.
That when you take something written for this stage, you got a pit orchestra and and somewhere in the wiki, it said like, it was written for, this many horns and 2 guitars and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine, but now you're making a movie. You can scrap that.
Right.
You can get rid of that crap. You can just say, okay, I'm going to make a sonic soundscape of whatever the hell I want. It's going to be as crazy as the visuals, and it's going to mean something to the it's going to be diegetic or something. It's going to help the movie in some way. And I felt like they just said, well, let's take what we have in the musical stuff, and then we'll add a couple of touches and change it to our script. And, that was more or less it. There was no different instrumentation. But like I said, I thought there were some interesting things that were happening, but not in the songwriting itself. I agree with you, Colin. I didn't really think the music was that wonderful.
Only tangentially related. I found it kind of weird and sort of off-putting and really starting off on the wrong foot when the movie opens with her aunt singing a terrible song before there's any dialogue at all. And I was just like, and my first thought was, oh fuck. I was like, are they gonna be? I was like, I don't remember this, but are they gonna be like singing dialogue in this and I was really like annoyed. I was like, oh, please don't just like sing exposition. That's not really a song. It's just like musical dialogue. I hate that. And then thankfully it didn't really happen. But yeah, that opening number, I was like, yeesh.
When that happened, it reminded me of Blues Brothers, because if you remember, they couldn't get Aretha Franklin to act. And they said they said, well, just sing every line, just pretend you're singing, because they didn't like the way she acted. And I was like, oh.
I feel like that worked though, because it's Aretha Franklin, I guess.
Yeah,
right,
of course.
So you make that work.
Well, my first thought was, is that the woman from Billy Madison? And guess what? It is.
Is it? Wait,
Auntie
Billy
M.
Madison.
Yeah, so Teresa Merritt, is that right? Is that her name? Yeah, Teresa Merritt was Auntie M, and she's the housekeeper in Billy Madison. and I felt
crazy.
weird, like, yeah, but I'm like, I gotta double check, and that's her.
Wow.
I mean, it's such a different thing, like she's being totally campy and silly and stupid in Billy Madison, and she's being serious in this.
Yeah.
And then I guess like Robin Givens is like at the dinner party.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a couple of cameos in there.
I didn't catch that. I missed her.
There was a lot of people in there. I couldn't. The only one I was curious about, I was like, I got to know if that's the woman from Billy Madison.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Well, so where we go next?
The
90s?
Yeah. Shall we ease on down the road?
Yeah, let's ease on
Yeah,
down the road.
let's go to the 90s. That's a good idea.
All
Okay.
right.
Well,
96.
first I got to tell you my 91.
Okay.
First I got to tell you what I was going to do, which was to keep going with, because you guys went Sidney Lumet to Sidney Lumet.
Yeah.
2 adaptations. So I was going to go. I was going to continue the blaxploitation and do another Barry Gordy Presents. You probably know.
Was it going to be The Last Dragon?
It was going to be The Last
Oh
Dragon.
my God, that is very high in my list.
I think I'll save that one for you. I'll let you have that one. And also, I wanted to watch a little higher quality movie. Well,
than The Last Dragon?
It's debatable.
Oh,
when you know what I picked, then maybe we'll rethink. Okay, so let's see. It's 91, and let's see. It's one we've all seen. I know for sure we've seen it, and it is a female director, which I like to pick out if I can. And I'll give you the genre: action. I won't give you any of the cast.
Is it Point Break?
It is Point Break.
Wow, nice job.
Well done on that one. So you know who the director is? I'm assuming?
Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
But I gave you Keanu
not too many female directors in the early 90s, let alone doing action.
Right, doing action. That sets it apart.
My first thought was Clueless, because that's Amy Heckerling, but that's a few years
later.
Yeah, that's later.
Yeah. And
Point
also
Break,
it's on like Peacock and Hulu and Disney. It's everywhere.
It should be, right? Yeah, it should be, because it's awesome. Good pick.
I have been, it's been coming on Samsung TV, free TV or whatever, and it's one of those movies I have a hard time turning off. It comes on.
Agreed.
And I cannot take my eyes off it.
It's hard to.
I haven't seen it since seeing it in the theater.
Really?
What?
That is crazy to me.
Wow.
I did not see it in the theater. I mean, we can get into this next time, but I mean, it's one of those movies that's everywhere. But I don't even know if you call it a good movie, but we'll break that down.
Oh, yeah.
I just know I like it. So
yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'm curious. So thanks for picking it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's a good one.
I think this has been our best review yet. Once again, better than the movie.
Look at that.
For sure.
And shorter. Thankfully.
Much shorter.
Bonus.
I mean, yeah, if you don't like the content, you can at least like the duration of our review.
Shorten your suffering.
That's our tagline, I think.
Yeah. If you don't like the content, you'll like the duration. Well, on that note, thanks
That's
for
enough,
tuning
movie
in.
buff. I'm out.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
It's the Fun with Three Brains.
I saw it 17 times in the theater.